Okay, awesome. Yeah, so I record the spaces on Zoom as well when I can, and I take the transcript and I create the content for the day. So, but yeah, welcome everyone. Thanks again, Andy, for hosting yesterday, as yesterday was a quite busy day for me. I had some very big meetings in LA. From San Diego driving to LA it's a trek, okay? Let me tell you, it's not. It looks very close on a map, but it's far when you add in the traffic. So, and then I had a speaking engagement, and yeah, everything went well. So, we're back at it here. But yeah, welcome, guys. It's going to be a good conversation here today. Sales and marketing mastery. Why sales and marketing mastery? Because those are the two biggest business drivers of any business. Okay, sales and marketing. Everything else is important, but sales and marketing is what really brings in the revenue. And so that's why we want to master those two skills. And once you do, you'll never have to worry about money. That's the point. So, and yeah, today's topic is, oh, and this is a sponsored space, by the way. Today's space is sponsored by Play. Play is an AI ads powered platform. So if you want to run ads, instead of just running ads natively on Facebook or Google, uh, or YouTube, you can use Play, and Play is a dashboard, allows you to run ads using AI. It helps create the content, it helps create the images, the videos using AI. So, and it automatically optimizes the campaigns for you. So you don't have to do manual split testing, A/B split testing. So it saves a lot of time, right? So it saves you time, saves you money, more efficient with your ad spend. I use it, my clients use it. I encourage you guys to check out it as well. And so if you want a link to Play to check out the video and use a promo code for 5% off of the Play platform because you're part of the Ronin uh, space or the Startup Circle space communities, let me know and I will send that over to you. I'll also pin it above. And yeah, please like and repost the space. Would really appreciate it. It's going to be a great another mastermind, MBA mastermind discussion. And yeah, welcome to the stage, Andy, Abdullah, Yvonne, Umesh. Thank you guys for being here. Avni, Jason, Neda, good to see you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. It's going to be a great discussion here. Again, please like and repost the space. And and let's just go to Andy real quickly before I debrief on yesterday's takeaways from the speaking engagement. I want to share some key takeaways with everyone because I think they'll be incredibly valuable. So, but yeah, Andy, good morning. How's it going?
Good morning. I'm good. Which hat are you wearing? Yes, all of them. No, but the hat that I'm wearing most of the day is the author hat, which is interesting. The most interesting part is I had an idea, wrote the draft, updated the draft, talked about a few things, worked with some people, made some edits, changed some, added things around, normal kind of stuff. And then now I'm in the making it better phase, which unless you just decide to what is the deadline, you can it'll just iterate forever. So if you go from 100% done, right? If you go from 0% done, you can go to 80% done in a short period of time, and then you go 80 to 90. It takes longer. To go 90 to 91%, it gets longer, and then every single percent after that gets longer than the one before that. It's like at some point you go, it'll never be quote unquote perfect. It's good enough to ship. And can I live with it is the question that I'm asking myself. So the hat I'm wearing is the editor hat of, can I live with this? Will it do its intended purpose? And that's the hat I'm wearing right now.
Yeah, I can't wait to check it out, Andy. And I heard you guys have been talking quite a bit about, and you've been getting some great advice from other published speakers. Speaking of published speakers, we got Joe Dell down there, author of uh, Work It Like You Own It. Own It Like You Run It. I'm sorry. Run it like you own it. Yes, yes. So shout out to Jodell. Good to see you. Always a pleasure. And yeah, yeah, like version one is better than version none, but I understand like it can be a bit of a process of, we want it to be as best as we can and but yeah, having a deadline really important, right? Really important to have that deadline. And I know you have a deadline in your mind that you're aiming for. And so yeah, but there's never been a better time to, and you even said you probably have like 4 or 5 books in you, Andy. I believe it with all your expertise.
I have three drafts that I never finished, and this one is the fourth draft that I'm finishing.
Yeah, I believe it with all your expertise, 30 plus years. So, um, but yeah, Andy, good stuff. I'm super excited for you and, rounding out the edges and getting the I's dotted and the T's crossed and super excited and pumped for you. And yeah, we're going to be talking about it a lot. So, and yeah, great to have Jodel here and Yvonne and Umesh, Abdullah. Thanks guys for being here. And thank you, Andy, again for covering yesterday. I listened to the recording yesterday, and I just want to share a couple takeaways, and then we'll get to the other speakers here. But some takeaways from my speaking engagement. Um, well, let me just share a takeaway from the meeting first. Like I had a big meeting. I'm not going to go into details, but the point is like you always want to be prepared, right, for your meetings. You don't know, hey, am I going to be able to plug in my laptop to present? Yes or no. You maybe want to bring a copy of the PowerPoint presentation on paper so you can go through it just in case you have tech issues, right? That's a pro tip. Another pro tip is just make sure you're early, right? Early is on time is late. And it was in downtown LA. So like Wilshire Boulevard around that area. And so you want to make sure you have plenty of time. I know that's Yvonne's area, LA area. And yeah, just make sure you have a copy of the PowerPoint printed, as a hard copy. Be on time. Early is on time is late. And yeah, you have an agenda, you have a set flow, but you have to be adaptable based on the conversation that you're having with, the prospect, right? So, you can have everything lined up and yeah, you want to maybe go through every single slide exactly. No, you may have to jump around slides. That's fine. But you want to follow the conversation, right? You don't want to just follow a PowerPoint and just be very robotic. You do not want to do that. In my experience, the best presentations you can do is follow the conversation, jump around to the relevant slide, and just keep it flowing, right? Keep it flowing. So those are just some pro tips for everyone. But yeah, as far as the key takeaways from yesterday's speaking engagement, so it's funny, like one of the other, and I'll share a link to the videos. They're on my timeline, but one of the fellow advisors on the panel, he came up to me afterwards, and he's an older gentleman. I'm gonna put him in his probably mid 60s, and he said, I'm really envious of you, Justin, for starting and building your own business. Like that's been one of my regrets that I didn't jump into entrepreneurship. In my late 80s when I had a functioning product. He's an electrical engineer and he had a functioning product and he had a client. And the product was he was able to program and set up instead of servers who take orders at restaurants, they could basically transmit, this is in the late 80s, mind you, be able to transmit orders to the cook area so that they could, do the food orders. And yeah, he had it going. He had this first client and then he just like got a job and it was, it disappeared, his idea. But he had been like one of the first to do this. And had he stuck with it, he probably wouldn't be working right now, right? Like that's the whole point he was saying. He's like, I wish I, took that risk and in entrepreneurship and I didn't do it, so he had a regret. So the point is like you want to take those risks like like now, like and I've been taking risks since my late teens, early 20s in business, right? Because it's much easier to take those risks when you're younger than when you're older. And so, Yeah, no regrets. You don't want to have any regrets. So if you have that entrepreneurial itch, or if you're a forced entrepreneur like me, or you're uh, a forced founder like Andy, or many of us here are just building our thing, which is great. But if you're not, I encourage you to start that side hustle now, right? Start that side hustle right now. Don't wait. You don't want to be, in your, you know, late 40s, late 50s, late 60s and have regrets of, hey man, I wish I would have done that business. I envy you, Justin. Like you don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that. So that was one major takeaway. The other takeaways I want to share. So obviously my purpose, passion, profit framework came up. I shared the 10 C's framework, which went over really well with everyone. The 10 C's framework, just to be really clear what those are, it's you have to care first, right? You have to care, you have to commit, and then it's community, context to that community, communications, content creation, consistency, conversion, cash. That's the 10 C's framework right there. I talked about that, and the style of the meeting at first was they had about, 15 different tables set up, and each speaker was assigned to one table, and then the students would go to each table and they would ask questions of the speaker, right? So it's kind of like a speed networking type of setup in the beginning. And that was fun. They came, they asked questions, I gave them advice. And then after that, we did the panel discussion. So that was the format. It was a great format, really enjoyed it. I saw, one of my um, former students that I had in my class at Maricosta. She was a teacher. She's a teacher there at Palomar College, and it was great catching up with her. So, and she actually shared with me, yeah, Justin, I've been implementing so much of what I've learned from you in marketing in my class because she teaches, business marketing. So that was good to hear. I stress the importance of financial literacy. I mentioned the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, the cash flow quadrants, EBSI, building your personal brand and your email list now. I talked about that. Touched on AI a bit and, trust but verify when it comes to AI, right? Because, it can get you like 90, 95% of the way there, but you still need to trust and verify. And, there's no really push button with AI. Yes, it can do some tasks for you like research and, some good tasks, even, vibe coding now. But you still, and this is a use case right now, like I still have to go in, set up Google Analytics. I got to set up Google Tag Manager. I got to set up Facebook Business Manager, add the pixel, set up conversion API tracking. Like I got to do all this stuff manually. Like I can't just press a button with AI and say, "Oh, go do this on my website." Like no, that doesn't exist yet. There's a possibility in the future like that may well exist, or maybe I can create an agent that can do that. But right now it's a manual process. And so me and my team have to do that. That's just one example. And then last couple things I mentioned, knowledge is not power, applied knowledge, true power. Really you want to make sure you have that GSD degree, right? Like they're getting degrees, AA degrees, or they're transferring to a four-year institution. But I stress the importance of really having that GSD degree, which is get stuff done. That's what employers, that's what clients want to see. Hey, can this team, can this person get the job done? Be obsessed with your own success. Communication, organ so organization, communication, delegation. This was a big takeaway, right? Organization, communication, and delegation. So a lot of the speakers shared that obviously communication is everything, making sure that you're staying organized and being able to delegate. And yeah, that kind of brings us to, oh, and the boring businesses and trade businesses. So there was a home service business gentleman there who was in the trades, and he's doing really well. And the point is like we're not going to have AI like doing electrical work, or we're doing plumbing work or doing roofing work yet. I mean, but those are really good, niches to get into. It pays very well. And so don't sleep on the trade businesses and those boring businesses. And yeah, that brings us to which hat are you wearing today? Which hat are you wearing today? And so to Andy's point, you as an entrepreneur, like you have to wear multiple hats for sure. And me being a CMO, a chief marketing officer, and have in the previous, years, I've needed a team of 8 people, but that's just not the case these days. I only need like 3 people. So the point is, you can delegate some of the stuff to AI and AI agents that can help do some of the heavy lifting, and then you're more of like the QC person, quality control, and yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, you got to be an email marketer, you got to be a copywriter, you got to be a paid ads person, an analyst, you got to be a videographer, you got to be all these different things. That's the point. And AI can help out with those things. So, and then the last thing I'll say, and then I want to hear from anyone else. I'll get off my soapbox here, but um, are you doing what's required, right? Are you really doing what's required to get the job done for your project, for your client? And are you doing what's necessary, right? Because, we can be doing things, right? But are you doing exactly what's required and necessary to hit the outcome that you're looking and aiming for? And be enthusiastically infectious, right? So people pick up on your energy. When I was talking to some of the students, they were like, "Wow, Justin, like your enthusiasm is infectious." And that's good. Like you want to when you connect with people in person or on spaces wherever you're at, you just want to make sure like you have this enthusiastically infectious energy that people want to be associated with. That's what you want. That's how you sell your ideas. That's how you draw people in and make them part of your network and your impact. So yeah, with that, I'll get off my soapbox here. Let's go to Yvonne and Umesh. Would love to hear from them, but shout out to everyone down below. We got Brandon, fellow Ronin. We got Treyshard, fellow Ronin. We got Jason Barrett, fellow Ronin. We got Jodell, AVR, Hoops. Great to see you guys as always. And yeah, let's pass it over to Yvonne, and then we'll go to Umesh. Yvonne, how's it going?
Hey, hey, it's awesome. Yeah, I loved the video shares of you doing this speaking last night and everything. And I love what you said about, well, there's so many great things that you said. But about the infectious energy, you definitely have that. I have people tell me that all the time, and I'm just like, oh my God, thank God. Like, I thank God for that. That I was blessed with that, but it really is such a blessing. But it's so nice because I'm usually that person, so it's so nice to have like someone else like you and other great, team members that come into these spaces who have that too. Because sometimes I need somebody else to be that, not just me to be the light kind of thing, right? So just a shout out to you for that. Um, and dang it, there was something. Oh my God, I love what you were saying about making sure that whatever it is that you're doing, that it's moving you forward with your goals. I remember, and I wanted to share this, and then I have a question for you actually. When I used to work in recruiting, I actually did professional recruiting for a while. That's one of the things about being an actor, which is why I ended up I guess like you said, right, I had forced entrepreneurship. I ended up having to become an entrepreneur. I mean, it just happened and I loved it anyway. But because you're always working so many different gigs, like it's very hard to be able to audition, like book roles and things like that, and be able to work on that stuff while you're working like a regular 9 to 5 kind of job. That's why a lot of actors are waiters and stuff, because they need to have that flexibility. But you end up doing a lot of different jobs, and this is one particular job that I had. And one of the things that I won't ever forget that I learned from that, because I had to literally get on the phone and do cold calling to like CFOs and stuff, because I was working in the finance department, like anybody who had anything to do with like accounting, business finance, and things like that. I was in charge of, vetting those people and then pitching them out to clients and stuff. But I had to kind of build my own client list and everything. And it was really uncomfortable, you guys. Like, oh my God, cold calling like that, especially because I've worked with CEOs and CFOs and I know how freaking busy they are. So I had to kind of overcome like a little inner hurdle there with myself, because I didn't want to bother them and stuff like that, but had to kind of make myself do that. It was really uncomfortable, but we powered through. But one of the things that one of the supervisors said, because they did like like in the morning they would have like this little powwow right before you get started for the day and stuff like that, which was really great. And one of the things that he said is closest to money action. I never forgot that, you guys, because his point basically was there's a lot of things that you can be doing that are busy work. Because I try to be really organized. I have like my whole OCD. I like to have my desk just so and everything really prepared. I'm a very prepared person for a lot of things. But like you said, sometimes you have to be able to go off script and you got to be able to be flexible to do that. And so I would avoid making the cold calls while I was doing all this other stuff, doing organizing and planning things and everything instead of doing the cold calls. And part of that was obviously I was avoiding it because it was uncomfortable to be able to do that. And he said, no, he said, all those other things you're doing, they're not producing revenue. They're not producing cash flow. Closest to money action. So, like, you can be doing all these other things that are quote unquote busy work. And it doesn't mean that they might not be important. But the number one thing is making sure that you're finishing things and that you're putting your energy into things, especially in the beginning, where those things are going to create results, that's going to create revenue, that's going to create sales, that's going to create cash flow for you. So I literally always think about that all the time to make sure I keep myself in check with that. So I wanted to share that, but I was also curious, and I can't believe I feel like I have this much energy right now, you guys, because I literally was up till 2 o'clock in the morning last night working on stuff. That's how much I'm like so freaking locked in from doing Will's thing in these spaces and stuff before the beginning of the year. So it is working. I can't believe I've had like only a couple hours of sleep, but anyway. But I'm curious with the speaking engagement that you have, because I haven't done a stuff like that really, like only in like smaller settings or whatever. How did you end up getting that? Did you actually seek that out or did they reach out to you? Because I know eventually I'm going to be doing stuff like that. And I'm just curious what your process is for that and how you make that happen or how that came about.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. Yeah, so on your energy first, so I want to hit on that. So we go through seasons, right? So we have to protect our energy, but to Yvonne's point, when you get in the zone, right? When you're locked in and you're really focused on something, like you have to go with it, right? You have to stay in that flow for as long as you can. And as long as you're protecting your health and, making sure you're staying hydrated and all those things, right? But this is really important. Like when you're in the zone, like you got to roll with it, right? Like you got to roll with it. That time disappears, time pauses, time stops because you are in the zone and locked in. And now it's not sustainable long term. It's not sustainable long term. But when you have these bursts of extra energy, and Megs talks a lot about it in her newsletter, but the point is lean into that. If you get inspired, if you are locked in, you got to go with that, right? You may have some late nights, but just embrace it because it's part of the journey. So I want to really highlight that. And then as far as a couple other things I want to highlight. So sometimes you got to go off script. Yeah, perfect. I love that. Especially for, you being in the entertainment and acting space. Yeah, you got to go off script when it comes to your prospecting, your sales calls, your in-person meetings, right? You may have to go off script and just be okay with that, right? Don't think that it has to be, and I'm a very methodical person, but even I can impromptu and go off script as needed, right? Being adaptable in those situations is really critical because the flow and the prospect is going to feel that much more comfortable. And you can't be talking about, ABC and then start talking about, XYZ. And it's like you can't shift gears that quickly in a meeting. And I had to bring it back on track because I almost did that in the meeting. And then the last thing is closest to cash flow and revenue. And is this revenue generating? Yeah. Asking yourself on the daily, as an entrepreneur, is this, moving me closer to cash and revenue? Like absolutely critical. And if it's not, you can, delegate it or you can put it off for a different time. That's absolutely critical. And literally, like my setup right now is I have one VA and I have one technical team and myself, and that's it. And we got multiple clients and we're doing great work. And yeah, that's what it's all about. Staying nimble and you don't need an office and all this stuff. And then the last thing you asked about the speaking engagement. So yeah, like I used to do a lot of speaking. I used to get paid to speak on social media marketing back in 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. I used to speak, and how I got those was really local networking groups, and companies found me online and they would just hit me up on LinkedIn or send me emails or call me and they would ask me to speak, which was great. But those are, a lot less now because I haven't been doing that much. But even people in my network who are authors, speakers, coaches, consultants, they're getting less speaking engagements than they used to now. So, times have changed a bit. But I think if you just the fact that if you're to incorporate AI in like your speech and what you talk about, I think you'll get more interest there. But this one came about because of my relationship with a former student who took my class, who was actually a teacher. She works at Palomar College, so she talked to the advisory board and she's like, "Hey, I want to bring Justin in as one of the speakers." And so they had been emailing me, they called me, and then I was like, yeah, I can do it. And I don't charge for two speaking engagements. One, if it's education, or two, if it's military. So those are the two industries that I don't charge, right? I don't charge for those industries because, yeah, that's just kind of my way of, giving back and, community service, call it what you will. But yeah, like that's how I got this one, and I have another one through Cal State San Marcos next year, kind of similar to the Entrepreneur Society, which I was part of at Cal State San Marcos. They want me to come speak again. My former teacher, was seeing my stuff on LinkedIn, and I reached out and she reached out to me. So yeah, so I'll be doing that and it's non-paid, but I anticipate like next year I really want to get more paid speaking engagements. I think it'd be a great opportunity to obviously build your personal brand and yeah, anytime you can take it offline locally, I highly encourage everyone to do that and put together just basically like a one pager on, who you are, what you do, your expertise, what topics you can speak on, and always have that in your back pocket to pull out because you never know, when people are going to reach out to you. So hopefully that's helpful, Yvonne. But yeah, back over to you.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Yeah. Oh, and I love what you said that I was so in the zone yesterday. I was like that locked in. It's like this automatic high that you get. I like literally had to make myself go to bed. I didn't want to go to sleep because I had so many things to do, but I was like, no, I gotta get at least a couple hours of sleep because I gotta be up for the space in the morning for you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for that. Yeah, I was curious about that. That makes sense. But and I'm sure like as you expand and stuff like that, then people reach out to you. But yeah, I just want to say thanks. I'll shout out to everybody. Please like and repost the space, you guys. And I'm sure you want to move on to someone else. I'm sure there's other things I could say later, but I don't want to keep talking too much.
Yeah, thank you, Yvonne. And yeah, like a pro tip for you. You use AI, very well. And I think just having like a bio ready to go that you can pull out and, Orange County, LA, San Diego, it's a big market. So, just get something ready, put something together and yeah, start building some relationships and yeah, put AI in there as kind of, hey, and really just highlighting your story of, all your expertise and experience and, you have sales experience as well and what you're building now. And I think that's important and people resonate with that, especially with the entertainment industry as it becomes more challenged. Like even one gentleman was sharing like one of his friends had a son. He was, very academically accomplished and he tried to, take a stab at the, Hollywood life, but he wasn't making any traction, and so yeah, now he's gonna have to like find a real job and stuff like that. So the point is like I think there's a lot of people will resonate with your story and your expertise, and just incorporate some AI in there, and you'll be good. You'll get on the speaker circuit very quickly. So. But yeah, awesome. All right, well, let's go to Umesh real quick. I would love to hear from Umesh, and then I see Will down there as well. Would love to check in with you, Will, and yeah, and Nino and Steven, I'll get you guys up here as well. So, and just a heads up, we do have a Ronin call tomorrow for the paid members on the group mastermind plan. It's not the $20 plan, it's the higher up plan. So keep an eye on the group DM for the Zoom invite, and I also sent you guys an email as well. So, but yeah, Umesh, how's it going, man? Good to see you.
Hey, Justin, Andy, Ewan, and everyone down there in listening panel, because I call them as listening panel, not listeners, because they are the ones who actually bring in a lot of value to us as well, right? By spreading the message. So really appreciate that. Um, um, Justin, I'm in a very, very noisy place, so I locked myself in a bathroom actually to just contribute a little bit, and then I should be back in a quiet place in half an hour's time. And then, if you're still there, then I'll come back, with some things. But I wanted to ask you about the this tool, the ad tool that you were talking about. So it's a funny coincidence. Last night only, I was working on a complete N8N workflow for creating ads directly and putting them straight to social media, including X. And your post wouldn't have come at a better time. So it's a kind of a message from the universe about being infectious. Initially, when I saw the title of the space, I was like, are you going to get into some kind of a medical thing or something? And then realized, no, that's not just in. So this must be something really, really interesting. Yeah, we all are looking for. I'm always looking and coming to your spaces and Andy's spaces and following Evon everywhere to always get infected with whatever you guys have, because the energy and positivity that we get in this space is, besides the hardcore tips that we get, is really, really amazing. It's such a valuable resource. And when it comes down to things like this, where I was working on something last night and the very next day you bring a solution which is with your reference coming in, I don't have to look at it from any angle, just close my eyes and sign up for that, because you have done all the verification and everything. That's the beauty of communities like Revenue Ronins and the Startup Circle, because we share the best practices, our experiences, real experiences with each other. It's not like going to these big spaces and talking big without actually doing any kind of work in the background. We all are actually putting in the work, and we are sharing what we are learning from that. So that's the beautiful part of it. Another thing I wanted to highlight is, if you are not integrating when it comes to creating ads and everything, and this is something that I realized last night, if you're not integrating Nano Banana Pro into creating your ads, you're missing out on something amazing. And forget about, from my experience I'm sharing, forget about creating ads with all those JSON prompts and Markdown prompts and all those big prompts. The tool is incredibly intuitive. You just have to be clear about your thought process, go in a natural form, and you will see that it creates amazing ads and images. So the way I'm going to do is, let's say, for example, if I have a service or a product that I'm going to use for creating the ads, I'm going to create the first few kind of mood board ideas with Nano Banana Pro, and then I'm going to go to play.io and putting those images as a starting point, so that play.io actually starts at a much higher level than it would with a simple image. So that's just a small 2 cents from my side for everything that you bring on the table, Justin. So thank you so much.
There's no accidents in the universe, right, Umesh? So yeah, thank you, man. Really appreciate the kind words. And yeah, like we feed off of each other's energy, right? And you're one of those thought leaders that I highly admire on this platform, and you always bring great value as well, Umesh. So thank you. And yeah, make sure you check it out. There's a free trial, so if you don't like it, you don't have to pay. So make sure you check it out. And I love the Nano Banana highlight because, man, and I imagine where this is all going is, and even Play, I would imagine is, probably challenged right now. It's a great product, but I imagine that even Google in the near future, you'll be able to launch campaigns. And I've already seen some gleaning instances of this for the near future where when you have campaigns, you can actually start to have, the AI overlaid with Google to help you launch and run campaigns that's integrated with Nano Banana potentially. So, I mean, everything's on the table right now, but I think we need to be cautiously optimistic of focusing on what's feasible and what's practical right now and what's functioning right now. And I love that progress of create it in Nano Banana and then get it into play and then run it and test it. And we know, running ads is all testing. You don't need huge budgets right now. But the biggest thing is you can literally launch like 50 different campaigns, let's say at like, $5 a day, and then it'll automatically adjust the budget on the highest performing ad, like automatically. I mean, this is I had to do this manually 3 years ago, but now it's all handled by, Play and the AI. And so yeah, it's incredibly powerful. So keep us updated, Umesh, on if you have any questions on the back channel, let me know. Just shoot me a DM. And but yeah, definitely check it out. Check out the free trial and use the Revenue Ronin promo code for an additional 5% off. And yeah, man, really, really, really. And would you be running ads for yourself or clients? Just curious.
Yeah, so this is a mixture of both. It's just a coincidence, actually. I was speaking at a panel in London a couple of weeks ago, and there's a brand, there's a UK, a British brand. The CEO of the brand was there in the audience, and then he approached me and he said, he has this challenge with marketing workflows because of the way there is a disconnect between the product developers and the marketeers, and he wanted to bridge that gap using AI somehow. And I had made a small kind of reference to that in my speech because I had done some work in the background. And then we started talking, and he said, "Come over to my office tomorrow. Let me get in my marketing head and the product head together, and we can thresh out something." And like within few hours, literally, I had a project on my hand to create a workflow where this would work. And then I realized that their ad management and everything was just haywire.
Did we lose Umesh or did I?
Yeah, I believe we lost him.
Okay, okay. Okay, yeah, Umesh, please come back up. It sounds like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you ran into a haywire situation. So, yeah, we'll get you back up here. Um, so, okay, great. Let's check in with Yvonne real quickly and then we'll go to Nino as Umesh comes back here. But welcome to the stage, Christelle. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling better. Hopefully you're drinking your own tea. Hopefully you're taking your own medicine, okay? So, okay, let's go to Yvonne. Go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something. I love that he mentioned that about the ads, but I wanted to mention because you were talking about AI with ads. When I was working building some stuff in my shop on my website last night in Wix, that's something that I actually noticed. They literally had every time after I uploaded a product and saved it and had it like ready to go, basically, it automatically populated and pulled up this whole screen in the middle and basically said, "Do you want to make a YouTube video? Do you want to create a post to post this out? Do you want to promote this product?" There were like multiple different categories right off the bat. And so, of course, like curious mind, right? Like with all of us testing so many things, I clicked on a couple of them to test it out, and it literally had within the like after I uploaded the product, had it ready to go with one click of a button where I could literally go to this feature and it would automatically create a YouTube video for me based on slides that I already previously had or something like that, and do Facebook posts or anything like that, like literally with the click of a button. So it's kind of fire how the AI is so freaking amazing, you guys. I'm so freaking grateful for that stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you don't need a huge budget to test, right? So, and here's what I encourage, because I do a lot of paid ads I've run over 1,000 ad campaigns in my career, 1,000. And so what you need is you just need a $5. If you're doing ads for yourself, start with $5 a day, right? It's not a big budget, but it allows you to start testing, right? And I do this, with clients much more, larger test budget. But the point is, for if you're doing this for yourself individually, you can start off with $5 a day. And the only time you want to run ads is when you have a converting offer organically or via email. First, you want to get that converting first, right? Whether you're capturing emails or you're making sales or fill in the blank. But once you have a converting offer organically via email and or social media, then it's time to run paid ads. It's time to scale up and start testing paid ads. And then once you start getting conversion there, then you can increase the budget, right? So we go from $5 a day to $10 a day to 25 to 50. We start doubling the budget as long as we're getting that return on ad spend, right? The goal is to put in $25 and get back $30 or more or something like that, right? Like you want to make sure your positive return on ad spend. It's called ROAS, right? But that's the idea. That's where you start to scale. And so and yeah, that's what it's all about. So good stuff, Yvonne. Thank you. Always great to have you here. This is an infectious place, as Umesh was saying. Okay, like once you catch the bug of the revenue running community or the startup circle, it's hard to get rid of that. Like you're addicted. Okay, you're addicted, and because you're addicted to your own success. Okay, so okay, and welcome to the stage, Timo. Timo, so good to see you. It's been a minute, brother. I hope you're doing well. If you guys haven't seen the website, by the way, therevenueronin.com, make sure you please check it out. Links in the bio. Timo, that's Timo's handiwork right there. I mean, he's a master. So make sure you check out the website. He added the video and it's getting a lot of great traffic. It's getting a lot of organic subscribes to the email list, which I'm very proud of. And I'm getting, calls booked and inquiries. So it's working. Hey, so yeah, good to see you, Timo. Okay, let's go over to Nino. Nino, how's it going?
Doing good. Yvonne, I just wanted to say, my condolences to you and your family, and we're here to support you. Also, just give me a second here because I'm very busy. But also, when it comes to my business as a life coach, the one thing that I had to make sure is have that balance, right? Because you're starting from the very beginning, but then meeting people like you and so many others and getting perspectives, it's like the time. So the number one commodity for me is my time because I do have a full-time job. Then I'm also want to make sure that I'm there for myself, doing the things that I love to do, working out, talking to my clients. But what's happening to me right now, Justin, is because I've been doing this for so long, right? The branding and the marketing. That's another thing is like with my website, which is up and running, but I'm not really sharing it because I'm still like building on there. But I was amazed with the AI that while I signed up, and it literally, I got the package where it was the e-commerce with the marketing, and then you can link up your social media because a lot of people, they're on their phones and they're on social media. So if you can have that link to your website and they can click on it, or people go to your website and go to your social media because they already have accounts. So that's what I'm getting right now. It's the DMs, but then also the referrals from other people like, hey, this is Nino. He can help you out, which is phenomenal. That people are coming to me and then doing those free consultations because I might not be the right fit. So to me, it's the initial talk that you have someone, and then boom, you have the connection, right? The emotional connection that you have with someone, and then just seeing if you're the right fit. And if I'm not the right fit, then there's other people that I can, put them through. So to me, it's definitely the marketing, the branding, because I do those videos mostly on Facebook and Instagram. On X, I definitely try to put them out there, but it's a lot of time. But find that balance and just enjoy it, right? Because one thing that you always say, it's about your purpose, your why, but also enjoying the work that you do. Because if you get up in the morning and you're dredging like, oh, I have to do this and I have to like do the homework and I have to test, that's part of the process. So just enjoy the journey. And my DMs are always open. I mean, I'm here to support whatever I can do for the community. Thank you for the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Nino. So I want to comment on a couple of great points you made and expand a second. So the first thing is, I think you have to become a bit obsessed, and we hear this work-life balance, but I want to take a playbook here or take a tool from Will here. It's all about alignment, right? Alignment. So really critical, right? Because look, you're going to have times like Yvonne mentioned earlier where she's in the zone, she's working till 2 in the morning. I've worked till 3, 4 in the morning as well, over the course of these last 2 years, more times than I can count. But the point is we're in the zone, right? We're in the zone. And as long as it's not to an unhealthy detriment, it's fine because you get in those zones. So I think being in alignment is more what it's about than that work-life balance. And I get your point, but yeah, I mean, I think I'm gonna start saying, because yeah, you can't really have work and life balance. It's all about more for me is being in alignment, right? Being in alignment, and you're going to have those ebbs and flows of energy. But I agree with you. I'm with you. And then the other great point that you made was, and this is a big pro tip for everyone, not just Nino, is when you have inbound stuff coming in, inbound leads, and they're showing interest, right? And so there's two things you have to pay attention to. Two things. It's very simple. Interest and behavior. These are what we care about in marketing. We care about interest and we care about behaviors. So if somebody's messaging you on Facebook or Instagram or X and they're interested, right? They're showing interest and the behavior, they're messaging you. Okay, that's a big indicator. So make sure you have your free consultation or your free lead magnet or your free offer or your free something of value to offer, right? Make sure and what's working really well for me right now is these digital audits I've been doing. I've done about 20 digital audits in the last 3 months, and I'm doing more. They're stacking up. And basically I just scan their website and their social media and it, gives me an improvement plan. And I created the Revenue Ronin AI with this prompt. But the point is it's creating conversations. So the more things that you can do that can start a conversation, that creates an opportunity. So yeah, really lean into that. And this is how you get acclimated with their business and see if they may be a good fit, they may not be a good fit. Make sure they have budget, really important, right? And typically people don't go with you for one of three ways, or all three. A, they don't have budget. B, it's not good timing for them. Or C, they're not the ultimate decision maker. So you have to solve all three of those things. A, do they have budget? B, are they the right decision maker? And C, is it the right timing for them? If you have yes to all three of those, you're good to go. But make sure you're offering some sort of lead magnet, something of value. Get them on your email list, obviously. But just uh, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, for me, it's also this is great to be, on social media and being on X and doing these spaces. But I'm literally like looking at a phone, right, with these PFPs. And for me, because I found so much value and it's a game changer for me that I'm taking everything that I've acquired here and doing events. So I'm doing one in New Jersey, February 7th, but now people want me to do one here because there's a community of people that we've been in this space here for years. Now it's time to like network, get together, shake a hand, and see what they're doing. Because to me, to expand, it's partnership, right? Like you said, alignment. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing things when it comes to the mental health space, when it comes to life balance. So I'm just aligning myself with the people that are going to bring value in my life, but then I also bring value in theirs, right? It's a partnership, but it's got to come from a good place. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm just enjoying it because it's the possibilities are endless. Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's all about those collaborations. And if you can take it offline, like even the more better, right? So, I'm really trying to dominate in the San Diego market right now. And yeah, who knows? Like maybe next year I'll have like, a couple of salespeople out there hustling.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Jersey, my cousin has a five-star restaurant, and that's where my main hub is going to be there to have these events for other topics. But yeah, if you ever want to come out here, I'll be on me out. I'll show you around. I'm in Connecticut. Thank you.
Yeah, sounds good, Nino. Thank you, man. Always great to have you as part of the discussion. And yeah, I mean, this goes for anyone. Like, if you're gonna be coming to San Diego or you're gonna be going to Connecticut and New Jersey, hit up Nino. When I go to Finland, I'm gonna be breaking bread with Timo, right? If I get over to the UK Welsh area, I'm gonna meet up with Will, Hoops and Christelle in Miami. It's like you got to take it offline when those opportunities present itself, and set the intentions now. And I already met up with Andy, so and Yvonne's only in LA, so. But yeah, great stuff, Nino. Take it offline, guys. Collaborations and yeah, taking it offline, and do rev shares, right? Revenue shares. So if you can fill a room, right? If you can fill a room with people that are interested in your expertise and they're willing to invest. And here's a pro tip for live events. So you want to, I kind of, people have asked me, hey, do I do free events or do I charge? And in my experience, we know the answer. It's people pay attention to something more when they're investing, right? When they're paying a small fee. And as long as they're getting like lunch, or they're getting you know yeah, it's taking care of lunch and the fees for the venue. If you can get sponsors for the venue, even better, right? So you got to get creative, but you just want to at least break even with the live event. Like that's what you got to aim for. If you can make it profitable, even better, but ideally, at the very least, like you got to break even with the math. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. You don't want to go in the hole, right? It's all about profitability and revenue. So, okay, let's check in with I don't see any hands up, but I would love to check in with Christelle. Christelle, good morning. How are you feeling? Hi, Justin. Hi, everyone. Andy, Yvonne, Timo, Will, Nino. So many awesome people here. Much love. Yeah, I am feeling actually amazing. God is so good. I was, I pray about everything, but I was definitely praying that I would not be sick for my first cruise tomorrow. I'm going to the Bahamas for a little mini vacay, and I was like, please, Lord, don't let me be sick. That would be the saddest thing. So, I have two girlfriends that do massages, and they're like, we can both massage you at the same time. So they came over last night and gave me a life altering massage. I hadn't had one in like 3 years, and my body, it's the craziest thing. Like, when you go 3 years without a massage and then you get one, it feels transformative. I don't ever want to go that long again. But yeah, I mean, the body, there's so much. We've been talking about the body this week, which is nice because I have more of a focus on it. I keep thinking of the quote that Will shared yesterday. I was literally thinking about it this morning, surrendering my body to my mind. And man, after that massage, everything feels clearer, right? Like there's something about putting pressure and the blood flow and just like the movement and releasing tension. And we need that. I've been so focused on the mind and the heart, which is great, and now it's time to focus on the body. So, yeah, I'm feeling amazing actually. Um, After that, I feel like I got my life back. I love that we're talking about live events because these two friends of mine, I'm also working on planning a live event here in Miami, which I'm really excited about. And you all will be invited. I'll make it, far out enough. Miami flights are cheap, so we're gonna do like a rooftop or something like that, a really cool event. And they do kid friendly events, so they're not, it's like it's chill, it's cool, it's artsy, it's you're gonna get massages, and it's very wellness driven. So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026 and us talking more and more about these live events and what we're doing locally because this is huge. And then the final thing, and I'd love to hear from Digital Spaces. I know you have your hand up. But last thing I want to say for now is this idea of work-life balance is kind of funny to me because I don't, I'm always working as my lifestyle. And then
when I guess the life stuff gets really intense, then yeah, work does kind of slow down a little bit. But then once I get the life stuff, but right, like when if we get sick, like yesterday, I didn't want to do very much. I was in bed most of the day, but I still was in spaces and hosting because that's about all I can do and send out my AI newsletter. But otherwise, if I'm feeling good, I'm like working all the time. I'm constantly doing something and I love it. So it's, that's really what it's about for me. It's a blessing. And I don't take it for granted. So yeah, it's a good conversation. Go get a massage, people. If you're feeling tension, not thinking clearly, oh my gosh, go get some hands on your body. It is like next level. I'm going to stop before this starts sounding spicy.
I love it. We always like spice here, you know. So yeah, glad you're feeling better, Christelle. And yeah, man, that's good that you're taking some time off. You know, we've been working hard, and yeah, you deserve some time off. So, and yeah, like speaking of body, like I haven't worked out in quite some time because I've been sick, you know, back to back here, like, you know, for the whole month of, November into, December a little bit here. So I gotta get back to my workout routine because yeah, like I've gained some lbs. I'll just say that. So I'm gonna get back to my Ronin weight soon. So be on the lookout. I'll be getting back to my Ronin weight. So, but yeah, let's go to digital spaces, and then I would love to hear from Will and Timo. Digital spaces, how's it going?
To meet you guys. Appreciate the space. Yeah, great information there on the the AI advert generating tips. I think it was Umesh or something. Sorry if I mispronounced that. What was it? Yeah, that was great advice. So I decided that I would share some tips that I've learned because I'm sure we're all here trying to build up on social media, trying all sorts of tips and tricks. And it's harder because there's so much competition. You guys are all my competition. But seeing as you guys are sharing, I guess that I'll share with you. I appreciate you guys. And anybody who's not sharing, you should close your ears right now because this is not for you. Okay. So basically, if you go onto YouTube with a YouTube video, say you've got a YouTube video, and like if you can promote it, you can do targeted promotions. Now, as long as it's like an international topic or something like that, or it's important just to get the image to look right when they look at the thing. You want to have so many subscribers and you want to have so many views on a video. And so if you're not worried about that, you can get really, really cheap adverts, but you've got to advertise in places like, South Africa's a good English speaking country where the advertising rates are incredibly cheap. And so if you can get your views up, get your subs up, like without breaking the TOS on YouTube by targeting, your audience in those kind of areas. And what you could do as a solution if you're not normally focused around South African topics or something like that, is that you could make one video that would target that kind of audience more, talk about their country, maybe even a little bit, depends what you're doing, and how it would help people from there more than anywhere else. And then it will look more natural as well. So when you're doing the adverts, maybe you want to have a certain amount where you're targeting it for a more high priced audience because you're trying to get sales. But then if you're trying to improve your image and the image of the channel that you're selling, essentially, then maybe it's worth investing in these, countries where they have it's much cheaper. Sometimes it's 1/100th of the price, so it's well worth, investing in that way if you want to get your YouTube subs up and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're advertising for somebody else, make sure you use that targeted audience function on the YouTube campaign, essentially the promotion, and then you'll get the best result.
Yeah, good stuff. Digital Spaces, Ghost Cipher, love that name. Yeah, so you dropped a little bit of alpha there for everyone, a lot of alpha. Let me expand on a couple things here. So the first thing is you notice that he talked about the objective first, right? So what is the objective and the outcome that you're looking for? That's number one. And number two, there definitely is an opportunity for the ad spend to be utilized in other countries to accomplish the goal, for this instance, more subs and more viewers so you can qualify for monetization for YouTube. So yeah, I'm not going to advertise in California because why? Because that's the most highest inventory of ads. No, I'm going to go to South Africa or another country, accomplish that outcome that I'm looking for. Once I meet that threshold, then I can monetize my YouTube channel. So that's the system, that's the process, that's the pro tip. And the other pro tip is, as he mentioned, so if you're targeting uh if you're targeting people for viewership versus sales, but there's two really types of targeting. There's locality, right, based on location, but then also there's interest and behavior as well, which you can do with YouTube and these other ad platforms. So yeah, like depending on the outcome that you're trying to accomplish, you can get lower cost inventory. Like if I'm advertising in Canada versus US, there's certain parts of Canada I can target very easily. And the ad inventory is much more affordable than California, right? So California is like prime ad real estate, right? It's premium price. It's like paying for premium gasoline. But if you're depending on your goal and your outcome of what you're trying to accomplish, if I'm just trying to get my viewership up and my subscribers up, yeah, I can accomplish that in different countries. But then when it comes to sales, as digital spaces mentioned, then you can, get more focused and create campaigns around that. So yeah, good pro tips there. Digital spaces, thanks for being here. Gave you a follow back. Great to have you here. Love your PFP. It's very Ronin-esque. So so yeah, welcome to the community. I haven't seen you before. But yeah, thanks for being here and the contribution and great to have you here. So I want to check in with Will and Timo real quick because they are Ronins. I want to check with them, and then we'll go to hoops. And so yeah, Will, how's it going, man? I did my stuff yesterday, even though it was late. I still accomplished my MVAs, so I hope you're proud of me.
Always, but it's more important that you're proud of yourself. I'm just here to hold everyone accountable. But yes, amazing. And I did give you a shout out as well in the group in the community, and I linked one of your tweets so that everyone, because I you had a few people asking what were you speaking on. So there's a few people who are curious. So I've linked your tweet so they can all see it. But that's it, isn't it? And I'll just keep it really quick because I've just finished eating breakfast. But this is the power of building closed loops, a power of building undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. Because the world will try and shake you and tell you that you're not good enough because of X, Y, and Z. But when you build internal congruence to say, this is who I am, and I've displayed it in my behavior. So no matter what somebody says to me out there, I know exactly who I am in here. That's conviction. And conviction is everything. So never ask if I'm proud of you, Justin. Be proud of yourself. I'm just here to hold everyone accountable. But I love it. So the question of the space today, which hat are you wearing and are you being infectious? It's an interesting word, infectious. I hope that I am affecting people. I hope that I am inspiring people to be more of themselves, right? To step into their full self rather than playing small. I hope that idea is infectious. So when you see somebody who is doing the work, even when it's late, even when you're tired, and I'm with Christelle on this, work-life balance to me is a myth. I'm working if I'm awake. When I'm sleeping, I'm resting so I can work some more because that is my life. I love what I do. I would never do anything else. And like the whole thing for me is if I can infect somebody in the idea that you can be more of the person you want to be by releasing the fear that is causing you to play small, then I want to get that I want to get that out there pandemic style because that is an idea that everyone can benefit from. But my intention here is always to just make people aware that it's you. It's all within you. You are the operant power. Nothing outside of you gets a vote. And that is probably the most important message I've ever learned. So yeah, happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday, Ronins. And looking forward to catching the last 10 minutes of the conversation.
Yeah, thank you, Will, and hopefully we'll see you in the Ronin Mastermind tomorrow. I adjusted the time to accommodate, so
I will be there. It's in my calendar.
sweet, awesome. Yes, that's gonna be great. So, yeah, well, thank you, Will, for the kind words. And yeah, like uh the higher standard part, that Yeah, you're elevating your game here in these spaces, and yeah, the collaboration's been great, Will, and yeah, thank you for your leadership and help demonstrate and show us the way here with all your expertise. And yeah, like I don't really see it as working. Like I'm energized every single day because of you guys to show up and contribute and add value and grow together. And we're 2 years into my 5 year plan. You've heard me talk about it, right? We're 2 years in. We're going to be doing daily spaces Monday through Friday starting next year as well. We're not stopping. Weekends we take off. We'll do some bonus pop-ups every now and then, but yeah, so the infectious, so there's a quote that I have. So people either infect you or they affect you, right? They infect you negatively or they affect you positively. But with this reference, are you being infectious with your energy because you want to infect people positively, right? Like that's why I forget who it was that mentioned, I think Nino or someone else said, I follow Yvonne wherever she goes. Yes, I'm same. If Yvonne's in a room, like I'm gonna go in there, right? Because I know she's dropping like, love and light and positivity, and I want to be around that, right? Same with Christelle or Andy or Timo or Will. Like if you guys are in spaces and Nino, I'm going to jump in there, right? Because I want to be associated with that energy. It's infectious. So that's the whole premise there. But yeah, good stuff, Will. Can't wait to see you on tomorrow's Zoom call. And yeah, we're gonna finish the month strong. And it was so funny. There's no accidents. I have to share this. You guys will love this. So I'm on the speaker panel yesterday, and one of the beginning uh, speakers, he mentioned the Michael Jordan documentary. And I was like, oh my gosh, no, he didn't. Like, no, he didn't. We've been talking about that for months, right? On the space. And here he goes. He's like, yeah, when Michael Jordan was this and that. I was like, oh, dude, of course he did. Of course. Like there is no accidents in the universe, guys. Like how how did he bring that documentary up on the panel, and it's like we've been talking about it on Spaces for like months. So it was just like one of those moments, like the perfect synchronicity. Okay, the synchronicities, there's something to be said there. So I thought you guys would love that. So yeah, good stuff, Will. And let's go over to Timo, and then we'll go to hoops, and then we'll start wrapping up here, guys. I got another big day today. Yeah, it's going to be a big, productive, and profitable day. So yeah, let's go to Timo and check in real quick. Timo, how's it going, brother?
Hey, and good to be on the speaker panel. I've had very busy week, have been just like dropping in and out of these spaces pretty much the whole week. But Justin, where was that pitch on that video for high stakes human skills? You were talking about high stakes social skills. Come on, you're almost there. I was waiting for that. Okay. Yeah, the question is good. Um, it's I think a lot of the times, um, the this infectious thing, infection, um, it widely depends on your circumstances and your network, and the goal and the kind of like what phase of a network building you are. Uh, let's take an example. I have most of the speakers here on notifications on this app, so I will always see if you pop into a space as a speaker. And that's a good way to find great spaces and more great people. When you have a great bunch of people in your notifications, then it's easy to kind of peek where they're going when they're not on the standard schedule of the startup circle or the revenue running community. Sometimes they go into weird spaces that I'm not really interested in, but mostly good spaces. So but the circumstances around your goals and the network you are in is, I think it's the thing that matters the most on this question. If you are at the phase where you're building up your network, you're kind of in the you are the learner, you are the rookie, you are the upcoming person. And then on the other hand, if you're on the master side of things, like in the sales and marketing mastery Ronin community, the you are more of a teacher, where that is kind of the role of that position. But then again, the grandmasters are those who come who can become the objects, aka the learners again. So I posted a tweet today about the people in the first of line were at some point at the end of the line. And then there was actually a great reply to it by one account that interacts quite a lot back and forth. And he posted that, and then the first of line go back into the backup line, because again, one of those what got us here won't get us there. So there's always the next line. There's always the next mount. So there's the only way that you can like continue growing is to humble yourself and always remember that there's that next line where you have to get at the end of the line, and then push through the whatever hardship there is. The problem is, in my opinion, in this new environment, and these, especially on the younger generations who were born with this button in their hand, where they can just click and have everything they want from anywhere in the world they want. And the hardship and kind of like what brings the mastery, they end up skipping the line and then falling back at the end of it, never reaching the first positions of the line to proceed to the next line. That's the problem, I think, nowadays. Looking at the, not really my kids, but a lot of their friends, it's just like miserable to watch them build these dream castles and then never pushing anything to do it except pushing buttons and hoping that some automation takes them there. But yeah, I think the fundamentals of building up is still you have to endure the heat if you want to shine. That is another tweet that I posted today. So just building up from my tweets.
Man, Timo. Yeah, so every master was once a disaster. That's what's showing up for me right there. So every master was once a disaster, and you'll know that you'll be proud, Timo, because I'm going to be sending a follow-up email to the business department that invited me to speak, and I'm going to invite them to join my newsletter with a bonus gift for all the students. So, and you're on my recommended once they sign up to my newsletter, they're going to get the human skills because guess what? The number one thing that was called out is they need to improve on their soft skills. That was the number one thing. So the point is, you got to get those soft skills, those fundamentals. They have to nail it. And it was a really big topic. And then the other thing is the call to action follow up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. I didn't have an opportunity to drop the newsletter for the Ronin community, which is why I'm going to be sending a follow up email today. Right. So stay in communication. Want to make sure you do your follow ups and your follow throughs. Really, really critical. Right. Follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. I can't stress that enough. And people don't follow up enough. They're not assertive enough. They're not aggressive enough. Call it what you will, but you got to follow up. You have to follow up. So that's on my list today, Timo. So hopefully we'll get you some subscribers there. And yeah, I really resonated with a lot of things you said. And automation is not always automatic. Okay, automation is not always automatic. And, there's no really push button to success. If that were the case, we'd all be multimillionaires right now. So, so yeah, great points, Timo. Really appreciate it. Um, and that concludes t today's Timo talk. Make sure you guys subscribe to Timo's newsletter. I'm always learning, and that's the last thing I'll say is I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm always learning from Andy. I'm always learning from Christelle. I'm learning from Yvonne. I'm learning from Timo. I'm learning from Hoops. I'm learning from Will. I'm learning from Nino, Umesh, all of you guys. I'm learning from you guys. We're learning from each other. That's what a mastermind is all about, right? That's what a mastermind is all about. It's learning, and then we drop the L and we earn, and we can always level up because we're always coachable. We're always coachable, and we're always great students. So yeah, okay, let's go over to Will, and then we're gonna do final word with Christelle, Andy, and myself, and yeah, we'll go crush the day or evening. All right, Will, over to you.
I'll keep it super brief, but something Timo just said is so important to understand, and it's very dangerous in the world of AI automations, instant gratifications. If people never learn how to win, they just get given a win, they never actually benefit from it. And this is so important, right? And we see this all the time with those that grow up and they don't have any challenges and they're coddled and they have the victory, or the victory that is espoused to be the victory, and yet they don't learn it because it's not the victory that you want, it is who you become on the path to the victory. And this is why you can look into schools right now and people who are just copy and pasting things from ChatGPT never actually learn. The goal was never to get the answer correct. The goal was to learn how to get the answer correct. So the goal is not to sell your business. The goal is not to make money. The goal is to become the kind of person that can. That's the goal. And I really wanted to compound on that because the challenge, the fire, the crucible is where you forge the ability to be that person. And it is the being of that person that is the prize. So I just wanted to add that in because it's so good and I think very under recognized in the race to get to the finish line. You forget that it's not about the finish line. It's about being a good driver, being a good racer. Right? So yeah, that's my final thought for today.
Yeah, love it, Will. Go ahead, Timo.
Yeah, well, you mentioned instant gratification. So, what is missing currently? What the AI driver, what the automation driver, what the circumstances around, especially the younger generations who didn't have to sit in their room for hours wondering what the hell to do and come up with plans. The missing of people are not able to go for the delayed gratification. So they're just like, they feel anxious if they don't have a button to press and have everything delivered in hours to their doorstep. So, or get the answer directly to copy paste. And like you said, that is creating a society of just zero winning ability and just participation medals for everyone.
Yeah, we can do a whole space on, and maybe we'll bring this up tomorrow, but the entitlement mentality and instant gratification. I mean, those two topics are big topics that I see a lot of from, these upcoming generations. Like, and even when I was in college, like all my colleagues, fellow students, and I was running a business full time while going to school, and many of them were just on easy street and or on hard street if they didn't have help from mommy and daddy. So the point is like there's something to be said about people that have to push through this entitlement mentality and really roll up their sleeves and have grit and resilience and being tenacious. Those are big things. So, and they could be in for a rude awakening. And again, why forced entrepreneurship, and I mentioned it last night, is a bit controversial, call it what you will, but I'm just pointing out the obvious, right? Unless you have your head in the sand, that AI is taking jobs, and it's not, you know, will AI replace me? It's the person who uses AI more applicable and better than you will replace you. So yeah, great stuff, everyone. Oh, is Christelle dropping down? I'm going to final word. Shoot. Okay, sorry, Christelle.
Just
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, let's do final word here. Andy, go for it. Final word. Oh, actually, let's go to Yvonne and then Andy, and then I'll close this out. Okay, Yvonne, final word. Over to you.
Ooh, my final word, I'll just say start. Wherever you're at, just start. And don't worry about making everything perfect, and just begin, because what you'll find, and actually Stephen King talked about this in his book on writing, and I never forgot it, but I never forgot that he wrote that and what he said, but I always have to remind myself to apply it to what I'm doing, especially when you're building a business. Depending, no matter where you are in the journey, sometimes it can be overwhelming. I've definitely had that many times, and I'm very meticulous in my designing, all these other kind of things, so sometimes I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to do. But in his book on writing, he kind of refers to this in regards to writers, because as a writer, a lot of times, Andy, this will apply to you, right? Like, you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, I want to write this whole book. And especially if you're, depending on what it is that you're writing, or I guess that doesn't matter, like any subject matter that you're writing, right? But he said that sometimes you'll look at the page, or you'll think to yourself, I have so many more chapters I have to go. Or even if you're like, kind of, where do I begin? Because I have all this stuff in my head that I want to get out, that I want to tell this story about, or that I want to share this message and this experience with people so they can level up their own lives or what have you. And he said, literally just start. Don't think, oh my God, I have this giant book, or oh my God, I have these, this huge chapter that I have to do. He said, just start when you have something like that. And he said, literally just do, 1,500 words a day. Just start with 1,500 words a day. And the reason that he's saying that is, it's kind of like how I mentioned the other day, like if you haven't worked out in a while and you need to exercise or whatever, don't think, oh, I gotta, go run a freaking, 5-mile thing or something. Just get out and walk 15 minutes. Because then by doing that, you're moving yourself into the action. I know Will double down on this, but what happens is when you start to do it, instead of that wall that can happen when you get that overwhelm, that actually causes that resistance, where then because you're moving into a new version of yourself a lot of times when you're doing this, and breaking through the old paradigm of the other person. You are becoming another person when you're doing some of these things. You're evolving, you're creating more responsibility for yourself, and sometimes that can be very scary. But the thing is, once you start, then you've kind of pierced that, and you've kind of punched through the wall, so to speak. And then what happens is, then, and I literally experienced this when I would be writing, and when I would get ready to write my 1,500 words, and I would sit down, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, because I was like, I only got to write 1,500, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't really like a lot. And the next thing you know, once I started, immediately I got in the zone. Like, the flow came and I was in it, and then I didn't want to stop. And I just wanted to stress that, because that's so important, because that's been one of my roadblocks in the past, and I have to constantly remind myself of that. Wherever you're at with whatever it is you're trying to do, just start wherever you are, and then you yourself, by doing so, will help create and build that momentum. And then you'll get the, addicted to success. Then you'll start getting excited about the results that you're producing with what you're creating. So just begin wherever you are.
Yeah, thank you for that, Yvonne. Yeah, it's all about that next minimum viable action. And so I saw Will's hand shoot up. So yeah, go ahead, Will, and then pass it to Andy. But thank you, Yvonne. Love those words. I got some final statements to add on. But yeah, let's go to Will and then Andy.
Keep it so super brief because I know you guys are out of time. But yeah, MVA, minimum viable action. What is the smallest needle moving task I can do? Can I do it every day? Yes, and yes, go for it. For me, it was going to get to the gym. I just had to touch the back wall and then I could go home. Never happened once. I always got a workout in. But I was just going to say, for Yvonne and anyone else in the community, I posted a Simon Sinek video today on consistency versus intensity. And it's exactly this. First, you establish consistency and then you build intensity. Because if you try and build intensity without consistency, you're going to fail. Because that's not who you are yet. Be it first, and then you can scale it. So back to you. Back to Andy. Well, Yvonne, I've written 23,565 words in the latest version, so I have my words in. I'm trying to condense it to a smaller book. It was 150 topics, and then it's really 2 books. Okay, here's my thought for the day. Number 1, you are entitled to nothing. Breathing is a gift. Billing, having clients, taking action, marketing, it's a gift. Don't squander your gifts.
And with that, guys, there's no shortcuts to success. Okay, there's no easy button. Okay, and it's always about who you are becoming. And you're either growing or you're dying, as T. Harv Eker would say. You're either growing or you're dying. So choose how you want to show up, but it always starts with who you're being, as Will would say. So, guys, thank you for another great space. Umesh, I see you're back on speaker, but I got to close down. I'm way over time. But yeah, come back tomorrow. I would love to have you. We'll be in the Startup Circle community. 6:45 a.m. Pacific. If you have any questions, shoot me in the DM. But yeah, guys, really want to thank everyone for your time. That's your most valuable asset. Don't forget it. Don't squander it. So thank you, everyone down below: Trey Shard, Brandon, Gutsen, Jason, Steven, Umesh, Will, Digital Spaces, Timo, Yvonne, Andy. Really appreciate you guys' time. Everyone down below: Mav, Demiola, Tashby, Nora, all our listeners. We thank you guys. We see you. We hear you. We appreciate the emojis and all the support and energy that you're sending us as well on the speaker panel and host panel. And guys, just remember, at the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves 4 simple questions. Oh, make sure you sign up for the newsletter if you're not already on the newsletter list, by the way. I put it in the pill there, so make sure you sign up for the newsletter, please. Weekly tips to bring in more revenue. If that's something you're interested in, it'll be great for you. Very digestible, actionable tips. I know Yvonne's on there. I think I've seen your email, but yeah, thank you, Yvonne, for subscribing. And yeah, guys, just remember at the end of our lives, we'll ask ourselves 4 simple questions. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? And did I make a difference? Until next time, keep making a difference. Build that mind, build that body, build that business, build that bank account, but most importantly, build that legacy. So stay hungry, stay humble. We'll see you at the top. If you want to keep growing, check out the Revenue Ronin community. Prices are going up 2026. My time's getting more scarce. So it's basic economics. So I'm increasing the price. So lock in today if you're not already a member. And we'd love to have you as part of the Revenue Ronin community. The mission is 1,000 Ronins. We've had about 35, close to 40 people sign up now, which is awesome. And we're striving for 1,000. So, and I'll play one last audio for you guys, and then we'll call it a day.
In a world of uncertainty, the Ronin stands apart. A master of sales and marketing who answers to no one. Forge your own path. Create your own success. 1,000 leaders, 1,000 Ronins. Will you be next? Join the revolution now. Step into mastery at therevenueronin.com.
All right, make it a productive and profitable day, guys. Much love. We'll see you tomorrow.